What up? What up? What up? What up? It's your boy Brandon, and we back with another episode of the I'm Just Saying podcast. Welcome back. This has been a wild season, I will say, in the dating world, and I've been trying to grasp on the changes that slightly changes, nothing out of the ordinary or anything like that. It's just some things that we kind of like should talk about. And me and my homegirl Nelia was talking about dating levels, right? So we were um, we were really just having a conversation about like dating in your league, and like I was opposed to it at first because I was like, to me, any given Sunday, any day, twice on Sunday, you can pull anybody at any time. It's all about, I mean, as a guy, you just got to have that confidence, right? And some guys don't have that confidence. Some people are just super introverted. Some people are shy, like myself. I'm just shy. I know I look good. I know I smell good. I know I'm him. Stuff like that. You just got to have your confidence. But sometimes, we all know what the league looks like. We all know what that sounds like, so it's just we had an intriguing conversation about it, and it came down to the fact that you should be dating in your level, like dating in your league, and you don't want to, and I see that and I understand that, right? It's just one of those things where I'm not gonna try to argue the fact that you should just go out there and try to talk to the baddest joint when you get out there. It's just not how it's happening. It's just not realistic. um I think that's just one of the things that I was like, you know what? But even if you have confidence in yourself, sometimes it might not go the way you want to. Even if you dating in your league, it might not, the dating situation might not work the way it's supposed to. For me, it was like, okay, I get it. I see what others are saying. I see what people are feeling, and I thought about it like, dang. And when it comes to us going out, like even in Dallas, like the dating scene and the ratio, and I felt like I wanted to make another episode about the dating ratio, but I kind of want to just kind of combine the two together for the moment, and I might double back on that later. I just think that when it comes to dating and going out, like as a guy, right? Let me give you a quick scenario. So as a guy, we're the pursuers. We have to go out there and try to shoot our shots. So with that being said, the other day I stepped out. I was like, all right, let me go out and experience this, and if let me try shooting my shot. Now I'm gonna give you a backstory on me. Like I said, I'm a real shy guy, right? I know I'm confident. I'm just not the guy that's going. I don't know. I'm not the guy that's going to approach all the time, and it's just because I sometimes I just read the room so well, it could be my downfall. So reading the room is a gift, but sometimes it can be a curse. So I'm outside, just like it's a Thursday night. We have this event called R&B only one night. It's called R&B one night only. And I've been going to these for a couple weeks now. Like they have one, or a couple months now, because I started. They have one each, so it's one night. Let me give you the synopsis of this too. It's so basically it's one night. One night you go out and you go to this R&B event and enjoy yourself. It's a kick. I mean, it's kind of like, how can I explain it? It's literally a chill vibe. It's a Thursday. So they usually have it on a Thursday night. But the last past month they had it on a Saturday. I'm sorry, on a Sunday evening. And it was pretty fucking legit. I had a good time then. But the first time I went, I was like, yo, this is flooded. Like, I didn't know how many people would just be like, fuck it, I'll just pull up on a Saturday and there ain't no thing. So I pulled up on a Saturday and we had a good time. so um so it, to me, I was like, okay, let me go ahead and experience the night again. This is my third time going. So like I said, I'm usually shy and I'm just observant of the scene and the area. So this particular night, I'm like, let me shoot my shot. Let me just mingle with the people there. Like I usually just be in the cut, or I would be with some friends or something like that, and I just be chilling. Like I just be in my own little world, and I just be kicking it. But this particular time, I was like, let me just start mingling with some of these ladies here. Let me see what they on. So I guess you could say that was shooting my shot, kind of not, but whatever. I decided to go ahead and I'm sitting there. I get there. So the ticket lets me get there like early, right? So I'm there. I'm like, damn, it's hella early. I mean, the ticket lets me get in early. That's what I mean to say. So, because last time I was in this shit, I didn't waited about an hour to get into this mother, and I was like, not today, sweetheart. So I got there on time, not colored time, color people time. I got there on time. Like so, let's say it started at 10 o'clock. I got there like 9:30, not hella early, but somewhat early. Go to the bar, give me a little drink, take the edge off, because I know the mission. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm finna do this particular night. So I'm like, you know what? Let me get a drink. Let me catch the vibe, see where I'm gonna do. All right. So, as time starts to go by, the list gets a little flooded now. Now they starting to play. The DJ gets set up. He starts to play his mix. And I'm like, oh, snap. I'm like, okay, I'm in there vibing. I'm in there enjoying myself. So I'm like, all right, let me lay back in the couch. Let me chill. Let me catch the vibes. So I'm like, starting to notice. I'm like, damn, there is a lot of women here. And I'm like, hey man, listen, we doing good. But me peeping the scene, trying to see what's going on, looking left and right. So so from the last time I was on the rooftop, I was just standing in like right in front of the DJ. I didn't know they had like a whole nother section on the other side. So I'm like, damn, what's I'm gonna go ahead and just sit there on this couch. So I'm chilling, drinking my drink, sitting on this couch. I'm like, then it's starting to be like 10:30, 11 o'clock. I'm like, oh shit, there's a lot of people. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna shoot my shot now. I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go in and see what's going on. Like I just a couple ladies were standing next to me. Did the little hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Nothing crazy, right? So this is so I'm telling you the story because it's hilarious. Because like this is not who I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. I'd rather just go to the scene like I know it sounds crazy when I'm about to say this. I'll come back to the story in a second. I'm the type of guy where I'd rather a woman approach me. Like it's just different. I just want to because it's the same old with me. Like I go up to you, I shoot my shot, or I say something to you, and then nothing happens. Like it's either I strike or I don't. It's boring to me. Like it's boring. It's the same old. I mean, I do. I accept it. I accept this format. It's an OG format. It's something that we've been doing for years and years, way before all of us was here. I mean, our parents was doing it. Our grandparents was doing it. I mean, you go up to her like, how you doing, young lady? How you say that. You just got to have your rap together when it comes to like shooting a shot in person. I just been more like, damn, my shyness really took over a lot of my life. And coming up in the 20s when we used to go to the club, like I never was I'm gonna go holler at shorty. I never been that. Now in my like early 30s, I don't care anymore. I'm just going ahead and just trying it out, see if it works, see if I can make a connection with somebody. I'm a funny guy, so I try to put that out there and see if it works the way it's supposed to. But recently, I just don't. I'm just throwing caution to the wind. So back to the story. Like I said, it's hilarious because I'm now like I'm still sitting on the couch like I am right now, right? Just sitting on the couch, just bobbing my head, chilling, not really paying attention to nothing else crazy. Then, like I said, I'm starting to see more and more women. Like they just kind of like surrounded the couch. At first, I was like, "Oh, these chicks trying to sit down," but this is a big ass couch, right? big ass couch. And it's like, you could fit about 4 people. You know what I mean? Me, I'm a big guy, so I about 3 people. So like it could at least, if it's 3 skinny women, they can all fit in that shit. We're gonna be touching thighs, but well, whatever. I'm here for it, like it is what it is. So so I see 2 girls come in, they sit next to me. And I'm just cooling, like, is anybody sitting here? Nah, you can go ahead, sit down, shot. You can sit, try to be cool and shit. My goofy ass. I'm like, yeah, ain't nobody sitting here. You can sit down. And same thing, still cooling, still chilling. Not minding my business. So and then now, like I said, it starts to get more packed. Like these 2 girls that were sitting next to me, they were just doing their own thing, living their life, doing what they do. So I started feeling good. The drink started hitting a little bit harder. Liquid courage always gonna get me right every time. You feel me? Liquid courage every time. But anyway, so I'm like, damn, all right, it's a little deep in here. Now, like I said, I'm sitting at the couch level, right? There's no like, it's nothing but ass in my face at this point. Like it's nothing but butt cheeks just sitting in. So I'm like, I'm not tripping. But I was like, all right, before I shoot my shot, I gotta at least see her face. Before I start talking to people, I gotta at least see their face before I can't just like, all right, she got the biggest booty in here. Let me try to see what's up with her. It was like, all right, let me just, I got up finally, straighten my shit out, get my fit, make sure the fit was right. So then I started like conversing. So I'm in the converse stage now, right? Because I'm already like talking to the girls I'm sitting next to in the couch. They enjoying themselves, they having fun. But I'm not really jacking them like that. So I'm like, let them do their thing. They good peoples, and I wasn't really trying to make an approach on them. So, but the one girl that did pop up in front of me, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to do my thing. I'm gonna have to shoot my shot. And the reason why is because she was fine. she was like that. And it brings us to the point of like levels, right? I didn't think I was going. So we all know, and then the reason of the point of this whole episode is that we all know that some people might be out of our league, and that's okay. But we, as positive as we want to be, we always gotta take that in account. Like, all right, maybe I'm not this person's type, and then, that's my problem. Like, I'm so much of an overthinker. Who knows what her type was? Like I said, I'm a teddy bear. You see me, I'm a big guy, but I'm very handsome too. Don't get me twisted. I look good. You see these braids? Boy. Shout out to my braider. But I look good. I know I look good. I know I'm a big guy. Some people don't jack big guys, and I get that. But me personally, who knows? Some people, a lot of girls like teddy bears, low key. They just don't want to admit it. So, so I don't know. I don't know this girl from a can of paint. I walk up to her, introduce myself. I ask her, how she doing, and then I ask her, where she from. Is she from Dallas? Because as you know, anybody that's in the city, none of us are from Dallas. It's like the ratio of people that move to Dallas that are versus the people that are actually from Dallas is like 5-1, dog. Like it's crazy. Like our generation really moved from our hometowns into Dallas, and I know other cities have done the same thing. There's so many people in the world. I get that, but honestly, let's think about it. Like a lot of people moved from their hometown to be in this city, and it's astonishing. So I asked the question, where's she from? She tell me she's from like St. Louis, I believe, if I remember correctly. And we started to chop it up a little bit. I asked her how long she been in Dallas, and she's like, oh, I've been here for about 11 years. I was like, damn, you really from you from Dallas now? This one, she's like, nah, stop it. I ain't never said that. I ain't gonna never claim this city. I was like, I get that, like I'm from, me, y'all know me. I'm from VA, so yeah, I get it. I get the whole thing. So I'm like, trying to create the conversation. But let me back up a little bit. When I introduced myself and she told me her name, she looked at me with the illest stink face, like I shouldn't even be talking to her. Like that's how and then that's how I know I put that shit on that Thursday night. I was looking fly. I know I was. I know I was looking good, but she just wasn't feeling me, I guess. So like I said, as I try to continue the conversation, those are things that I want to talk about, that part just right there, right? Because me not thinking she was out of my league, or she was, I mean, it could be anything. It could be a million and one factors. I would have to talk to her again to see why she looked at me the way she looked at me. Like, it was kind of like, hey, I'm Brandon. I tried to throw my hand out, and I don't know if she didn't like my hand or whatever the case may be. She looked at me like she was ready to swing on me, bro. Like, and I mean, mind you, it's not like I just popped up out of nowhere. I was already next to her. Let me explain that part too. I got up out my seat, and she was like, how, like the edge of the seat, right? Like, the edge of a couch, and it got the end. She was sitting on the end of the couch. So when I got up, I was already standing next to her. And and I thinking about how like body language is, right? And you try to think like, all right, like guys battle this. Ladies, I don't know if y'all know this or not, and I hope this reaches y'all in most well way possible, like in the most significant way possible. Like, you got to understand that it takes a lot for us to shoot our shot. And I don't know whether it's for a YN thing versus an older nigga thing. Like, it takes time for us to like, all right, is it worth it? Like, we do a lot of assessing. Like, all right, if I get rejected tonight, am I gonna be able to, take that on the chin and keep it moving? Now, if you keep it P like me and most of my homeboys and a lot of other guys, and I know this is sometimes difficult when we take an L, when you try to shoot your shot at somebody, nothing's ever, rejection is never, never fun, right? And sometimes rejection is just redirection, and that's how we think of it in a positive way. But to each his own. To your point, like how are you supposed to know? How are you supposed to know that what she's going to say unless you go out and try? So that's always been my thing. Like, I always felt like I needed to, I guess I have to assess things. It's just me being an overthinker, me being the big Aquarian that I am. I also think that when it comes to shooting your shot, it is a lot about body language. So, I felt like in the moment, I'm going out of order of the story, but there's little parts where, like somebody came by, like I'm standing next to her for a couple minutes first. I don't just get up and start talking to her. I kind of like let it mellow out, like let her know my presence is there, right? Somebody walks past both of us smoking a cigarette. She didn't like the cigarette smell. I don't like cigarettes. So boom, we're kind of relating now. Maybe I'm in my head, but like we relating like, damn, man, cigarette smell is fucking up the vibe. Now niggas can't breathe. You know how like when you stuff you start talking weird, like, yeah, because you can't breathe. So she's like, oh my God, they smoking a cigarette. They shouldn't be. Like, first of all, I was like, we in a rooftop, so they can smoke a cigarette. So, I mean, who's gonna stop them? You know what I mean? Security, you gonna go grab security? Like, but she was doing too much. That could have been a red flag for me anyway. But like, she's like, oh my God, they smoking a cigarette. I hate. And she looked at me like, oh, I hate cigarettes. I was like, yeah, I know cigarettes is trash though. And then so boom, communication's already there, right? We're already interchanging the conversation. We're already diving into a conversation. So it didn't go nowhere. So then I'm like, a couple minutes later, I'm like, hey, I'm Brandon. Nice to meet you. Your name is. She tells me her name, and I'm like, damn, she really gave me the stank face. I'm talking about she gave me I'm gonna have to show you in the camera. She was like for the people that's watching on YouTube, like she's looking at me like she looks me up and down, bro, like with the real stink face. Like I was like, God, I was like, okay, tough crowd. So then I get into the conversation. So I start asking like probing questions, and the type of probing questions I'm asking her, the type of question, are you from Dallas? The next thing she's supposed to rebuttal and say, am I from Dallas? Like, and she didn't do none of that. So I'm like, okay, body language, communications. I was like, all right, she not jacking me. So I let the conversation just die out, and I just, move on. I walked away, whatever the case. I just started vibing to the music. Now the DJ still back up playing this set or whatever. I think he took like a little intermission or some shit. But yeah, now I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do with that? So, so like, I was like, all right, I tried. I stepped out of my comfort zone and I tried to shoot my shot. But as I'm looking at her, I'm like, damn, she hella thick. She's very pretty. Not saying that she was out of my league, but the level, we might not be on the same level. My level might be higher than hers. My level of intellect might be higher than hers. I don't know. Remember, this is only a 2-minute interaction. Like, it felt like how bad it was on my part. It felt like I was talking to her for like 30 minutes and it didn't go nowhere. Sometimes, but in reality, it was just like a minute to 2-minute interaction and it didn't go anywhere. And that's okay. Like, it's okay that sometimes it doesn't work out. And I had to real live teach myself that, like, damn, I was like, damn, she could have, gave me my feelings was a little hurt, I ain't gonna lie. The way she kind of looked at me, that shit kind of threw me off. I don't think I ever like talked to a girl in real live time and she give me the stink face, like, who are you, dude? Hey, I was like, yeah, damn. She could be a young little thing too. So, uh, you know, so she wasn't jacking it. That's cool. She just won't hearing me. I was, I moved on, what I'm saying? But at the same time, this is something that free game for fellas. Like, shit, just because you got rejected don't mean you got to act like an asshole to people either. So she felt a certain type of way. I gave her space and I moved on. P shit, you know what I'm saying? Real P shit. I ain't gonna hold you. It was just funny because I'm a laugh and joke it off. But damn, boy, hey, she looked at me crazy, bro, when I tell you that. Crazy. But so, after getting my feelings hurt for the split second, I kind of just like sat down, caught another vibe, went to the bar again, got another drink. You know what I'm saying? I'm just cooling. At this point, I'm just a hopeless romantic. You know what I mean? I'm just a nigga that's just in here vibing on his own. And some people can't even do that. You know what I mean? Like, people feel like they gotta have somebody there to cope with their loneliness, and then it's not the case. Like I said, I'm a solo dater. Like, I'm gonna go out on a solo date by myself, go on a solo adventure, a solo mission if I got to, whatever the case may be. But I wanted to share that story to talk about just like why dating level kind of matters. And hopefully you find one of these three things. I actually broke them down to 3 different levels. And that, like I said, it just depends on who's talking. Not my levels. Let me put that out there first. My levels don't have to do anything with your levels. You can change these, flip flop them, rotate them, change the name. I just created 3 different levels of dating, and there's 2 sides to this level of dating, right? There's the level dating, and I think I'm gonna do a part 2 to this and add people to it, and then talk about the levels of dating. These are just dating levels. So you see, follow me. Like, I know I'm going down a weird ass rabbit hole, but follow me. Like, I'm talking about. So, like I said, there's 2 sides to the coin, right? There's levels of dating. Levels of dating are the talking stage, the dating exclusive stage, and then being in a relationship stage. Those are the levels of dating. This particular episode is talking about dating level. Like, you are not on the same level as me or the same league as me. Now, and this could come off so bad. And I'm trying to be positive and try to bring some positivity into this conversation, because like, me and my homegirl was kind of like talking, and it was so, it was very positive, but it was like we were both kind of like stuck on both sides. I was arguing the side that because the conversation was more like, oh, we know there's leagues to this. You can't just pull anybody off the rip. And I'm like, shit, if the talk game is right, you can pull anybody any day, any given Sunday, twice on Sunday. It don't matter what the situation is, as long as you got that shit together. You put that shit on, you got your fit right, you smelling good, you looking good, you know what I mean? You got that swag on you, and shorty just happened, and you happen to catch her at a good time. We all, as guys, we always do that. We always, and it's like you gotta be on the prowl. As crazy as it sounds, ladies, I'm sorry, but as guys, as the pursuers, we gotta be on the prowl all the time. You know how much focus that shit takes sometimes? You got to be like, all right, she bad. I got to go get it. That's how. And then to ask your other friends and ask your boy, you know what happened when you met your nigga? Like you know what happened. He came up to you, he got you. Sometimes it's not always that simple. Sometimes it's a little bit more of the, hey, what's up? You know, having a genuine conversation, and then sometimes it grows on something. But luckily, y'all both was on the same dating level. So here comes the positivity part of it, because just because you are, you know, going through a funk or something like that, doesn't mean I'm saying change your preference. Doesn't mean I'm not saying that you should change your dating persona or whatever, or what the case may be, because some things aren't working out. I'm always telling people to change. Like I was going back and forth with some women on Threads in a positive way, of course. I was talking to them. I was like, maybe we need to change our dating preference. And somebody was like, I ain't changing shit. I was like, yeah, that's tough. That's tough. Like, what do you mean? Like, you don't get what I'm saying? Like, she's like, nah, I'm just not. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not, it's not. I'm like, that's cool and all, but sometimes you might meet the right people, but you're not acting in the right manner. And sometimes you got to change your perception and perspective. Like, oh, all niggas is trash. Not all niggas are trash. Not all girls are trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta, just that one, you gotta be able to differentiate. And that's the balance of dating. You gotta figure out how to differentiate from who's trash and who's not. You got to and fellas, you got to differentiate from the women that are good and the ones that are hoes. And then, and I get the concept that sometimes we can't tell, ladies, because y'all stand right next to each other. And same thing with us. Some of us might stand next to some trash ass niggas, but we are the company that we keep. So if you are trying to seek out good people, stop hanging out with trash people. It seems simple, but I get it. Sometimes you just know people and you get to know them, and shit just changes and you got to deal with that. I get that wholeheartedly. So let's go into level 1, right? So these levels don't have anything to really do with numbering. I just kind of like wrote it out this way. So let's talk about level 1, the on the scener. So this means to me, right? The on the scener is the person that, this is level 1. This is most of us probably feel like they're out of our league. These are the girls and the dudes that look like they were, you know, straight gifts from God, right? Like, not like, nah, let me I'm bugging. But these are the people that are always outside, always on the scene, always gotta have like, you know, they just look good. They gotta look good all the time. Like, they gotta be the super freshest and shit like that. They're the on the sceners. So, and I know scener is not a word, but they're the person that's always on the scene. And it looks like, from what I wrote down, so these are the like top tier dating leagues. So you wouldn't go after this person because they probably are tricking, or I mean, it could be tricking, but I'm trying to be in a positive way. Not saying that the on the scener is a horrible person. They still want love. They still want good things, but they're the one that's always taking vacations. Every time you see them, they on some flight going somewhere. I feel like they're the ones that got all the money. It feels like sometimes they're, you know, what I say? They're in their own little dating league, pretty much. You always see them in the club. You always see them on out of town or in the event somewhere. So not saying that the perception of them are horrible, but they always outside. And it's okay to be outside. Enjoy your life. That on the scene is somebody that can motivate us all. So sometimes when you go outside your league, if you're not that in that lead, that level 1 of on the scene, then that might be somebody you might want to date and be around. You never know. I never know. So like the on the scene, like, and then also, guys, I want y'all to try to figure. I'll try to make it 3, and I try to separate all 3 of the categories, like to fit every kind of person that might be out. So level 1 is not me. So I'm not the person that's always on the scene. I am more of the next one, but I'll get into that in a second. But the on the scene person, that they just know what the moves are. They can't stay in the house all the time. Like they got to be outside. They find themselves being great on the outside. And what I mean on the outside is just, being outside, and that's okay. That's to each his own. Like I'm trying to be like I'm trying to give all 3 categories grace, and explain why they probably on that level. So if you notice, if fellas, if you're dating a girl or you're trying to get at a girl and she looks like the perception is she's always on the scene, then that's what she probably is. She's, and and don't get it twisted. On the scene does not mean a bad thing. On the scene is like, I'm just always on the move. I'm always doing something. I know girls that don't go to the club, but they still always on the scene, as in that they're always doing something active. That's what it is. On the scene is just always active. They never laying the fuck down. They never in the house watching Netflix. They never in the house on the phone talking to somebody. They always outside mingling with people. That's the on the sceners, if that makes sense. So with that being said, are you all on the scener? No. Like, so, and when it comes to actually dating and then try to find out what this person's level is, you really won't find out until you do what I did, which in my story was just go ahead and try to shoot the shot. Now, the girl that I was talking to at the little, event, I don't know what she was. The communication, we couldn't get there that far. She wasn't jacking me. So, I was like, okay, cool. Let me give you a space. To me, I think she's the on the scener. Like, but I didn't want to judge. I mean, she could be the next 2. I don't want to reveal the names yet, but she could be on the other 2. So like I said, it's 3 levels. And like I said, and this is not all to be all. This is just me being creative and creating names for certain levels of dating, or dating levels, I should say. And I think there's 3 major levels to that, and on the scene is probably one of the biggest ones. We all want to everybody claims that they don't want somebody that's always active, but sometimes those are the people that gets us motivated to do things. And instead of us falling into like low-key depression, the on the scener is so great because they provide information. They're intuitive, they have ambition, and sometimes you want to be around that. And then sometimes, to my point, if you're dating somebody outside that level, that sometimes you can balance each other out. If you're one of the other 2 levels and you meet somebody that's on the scene, you might balance them out. You probably bring them peace, because the on the scene, on the scener world, they are most likely chaotic. Like not in a bad way. Like they just always got some type of event they got to go to. They could be an influencer. Like sometimes when you're an influencer, you're on the scene, and that we know everybody. We know somebody like that in our group, in our little dating groups, and there's somebody that's always trying to put us onto things, and they always come from a positive place too sometimes. So then you got the negative side of it, that the person that can't stay out the club, what I mean? They got to be in there popping bottles. They got to do too much. So there's always positive and negative to both sides, right? So that is the on the scener. So this is one that is my favorite by far. The hybrid. This is where I feel like this is my class. And so let me speak from personal experience, right? The hybrid is the person that can go outside, but also sit their ass in the house. That's me. I can you see what I'm doing. I'm in the crib. I'm in the crib making a podcast episode. So I'm very much hip to what's going on outside, but I'm also the person inside chilling, watching Netflix. I could do it both. I love being a hybrid. Like I could sit in the house one weekend. I can carry my ass out for one weekend. You know what I mean? It just depends on my energy. For me personally, I think it's just like, I think I just need to see what's going on. I think that's what matters the most. I gotta see how I feel. And I'm in tune with what my feelings are and what I'd rather do. So to my point, I'm a hybrid. The hybrid also can be finicky sometimes. So on the negative side, like my friends might want to, my homeboys might want to go out that weekend. And if I'm not feeling that, I'm gonna sit my ass in the house. Like that's the beauty in the hybrid. Like if I'm not feeling that, I can do anything I want. You know what I mean? Like I can sit and chill, and I can also Netflix and chill, but I also go out if I want to. You know what I mean? I think I think in that league, if some people, and I think it's the most safest level or league to be in because you're versatile. Everybody wants somebody that, in my opinion, I think everybody will want somebody that can go outside and have a good time, do something active, go for a hike, go to the bar, go to the club, and also sit at home, do some arts and crafts, do some shit that you love to do. You know, anything. It can go either way. You know what I mean? So, and also somebody that could watch a series with you. And it's just dating versatility is a beautiful thing. Like I think that it makes a big difference in what we got going on in this dating pool. So me personally, I would love to date somebody in the same level as me. That is a hybrid, like somebody that is okay with going out and then doing some adventurous shit, but also just want to lay back and catch a vibe at the crib, smoke some hookah, cook some food, order some food in, and watch a little bit of Netflix. That's my tipping of the iceberg right there. Like I feel like we all resonate on the hybrid level, but also dating if I was me being a hybrid trying to date on the scener, I would probably bring that person a little bit of a balance, because if they really fucking with me or messing with me or loving on me, like they'll sit down, you know what I mean? And I also got to match their energy. Sometimes they might want me to pop out with them at the club, and I got to match that energy. But like I said, every different strokes for different folks. It just depends on who you are and what you want to do with yourself. But that's me honestly. Um but yeah, like it just depends, man, like on your level, like what you feeling. But me personally, I'm a hybrid. So last but not least, the introvert. So a lot of people might resonate here too. So I hope so. So the introvert is not a bad thing. You somebody that stays to themselves, right? That's what the true meaning. Somebody that's kind of like shy, maybe, might be, just lacks. I wouldn't say lack, but more in tune with themselves and more at peace with themselves doesn't mean they like super extroverted like the on the scener. These are the people that really just stay to themselves, and they don't care a lot what's going on outside. They really care about what's in their space. So the introvert is good too, because introverts are most likely somewhat peaceful, somebody that really just catches vibes and just enjoys themselves. It just really depends. I don't think I can date the introvert technically. Oh, I could, but it's really hard dating an introvert because it takes a lot of energy to get them out the house. Like they have to have the right scenario. Like they got to be forced to get out the house, and I think that is tough. Like I think that's like a little bit tough. I'm just looking at my notes, and I'm the person that loves to be in the intimate scene only. So that's more of the introvert. Like they are the ones that rather stay in the house and Netflix and chill for real. Like they rather not even think about a crowd of people. Like they might get anxiety. That might be the downfall for them. They might catch anxiety or have anxiety about being around so many people, like at a Texas fair situation. Like a lot of people are there, but they might not go to the fair because they introverted and they want to be in their own intimate setting. And like I said, nothing also wrong with that as well. That's the person that you know brings peace sometimes. Sometimes they might bring a different perspective to life. If you're the on the scene, or if you're the hybrid, you might mesh well with them because you can sit in the house too. But on the other side, that you might not be great if you're a hybrid because you want to go outside and they really don't. So that might be tough for you to actually pull that off. But to each his own. I think that's probably the most interesting thing. The person that just loves to be in an intimate setting. So those are the three levels, like the three dating leagues, the three dating levels that you might run into. I know there could be a couple more, but I think these are the most broad ones that I wanted to keep it more broad so we could open up the conversation and have a conversation about that part. Like which tier do you fall into? Which level do you find yourself falling into? Like, let's talk about it. Like, I think this is good for the conversation because who knows? Like, who knows what level we might fall into? I think I love being a hybrid because I love being able to do both and having the opportunity to do both with the person that I'm across from. If I'm dating you, I really hope that, because honestly, I think out of the three, if I had to choose, that's not a hybrid, I probably would go with the introvert. Because the on the scene is a little bit more difficult to keep up with. They're so busy. Technically, they might be so busy. I've tried to date on the sceners, and I haven't had a real successful one before because we ain't on the same level, like literally, mentally, like spiritually. You got to have that type of energy, and I'm more calm and more calm and relaxed. So I think I would resonate with the introvert more. Versus me being with somebody that's on the scene. That's just me personally. So those are the things that I want to think about, though. Like, those are the things that I actually want to see and hear from y'all. Like, I want to know what level are you at, and what level are you trying to date? That's a good question. So me personally, like I said, I'm the hybrid. I want to actually date more of the introvert, try to see if I can get them out their comfort zone while they try to get me out of mine. Like, I think I also, like, side note, I think we need to start challenging each other more when it comes to dating. Now, when I say challenging, I'm saying in a positive way. Like, some people, like, why I always thought, like, why are we I felt like a lot of my situationships failed because I think we were in competition with each other, and I don't know why. I don't know why we felt that way, but I didn't feel that way per se because I'm not trying to be in competition with the person I'm loving on. Like, if it could be some friendly stuff that we do, maybe, and I'm cool with that. But, like, truth be told, I just want to be with the person that I'm supposed to mesh well with, and somebody that actually gets it. So when I say challenging, I'm saying, like, what is something that you've been through before, and how did you overcome it? Like, challenging questions that make us bring each other out of our comfort zone. But to each his own, as always. Like I said, these levels are sent with love, and I'm not judging you by your level. I'm judging you by your character and how you handle things. So if you're on the scene, like, if you're still a great person and still got love in your heart and you're trying to work at it, I think we could be something special. And if you're a hybrid, I like you like that too, because I'm also that, and I want to be able to go out with you and experience new things, but also sit and have intimate moments with you and get to learn you in that way. And if you're an introvert, like, I want to be able to bring you out your shell and learn some new things from you, like learn how to be more peaceful, be more patient. Some people that are introverted are a little bit more patient than others, maybe. Or it could be complete opposite. I could be I could be not making this up, but, like, it could be a mesh. Like, somebody could have all three of these. You know what I mean? Sometimes, some days they might be introverted. Sometimes they might be on the scene. Sometimes they hybrid. It just depends on the person. And there's no judgment here, baby. You know how we get down at the I'm Just Saying podcast. You did. You feel me? But let me in. Nah, man. But I just wanted to talk about those things. I felt like these were things that could, really, be something. So as I get ready to close this out, I just want y'all to know that, hey, man, I need y'all opinion. I need y'all to listen, share this to your friends. Like, comment, share on YouTube, like and comment on Spotify. I need all y'all's reviews and everything to boost to keep the podcast going. I'm trying to get sponsored, so hopefully one day that'll happen. So we here, we here. Um, but yeah, man, I think I might do a part 2 and talk about the other side of the dating levels, the levels of dating, because I think we need to talk about that a little bit more. Again, I talked about it previous on the podcast, but I think we might talk about this a little bit more. But let me know what y'all think about this. Let me know if you are the on the scener, if you're the introvert, or if you're the on the scene. Oh, sorry, if you're the hybrid. Sorry, if you're the on the scene, the hybrid, and the introvert. Let me know. I just want to hear from y'all, man. I really want to see what y'all think, because I think this is a pretty interesting topic. And then like I said, it started with me and my homegirl's conversation about this. And then, like I said, just to touch on this one more time, I think anybody can be with anybody at any given moment, any given time. It really just depends on who you are and what the moment was in the time. Because, like I said, it just got to be the right time and right moment, and it's got to be under God's will. So if it's meant to be, it's always going to be at the end of the day. You feel me? Like if you can't accept that part, then you're always going to be lost in the sauce. So if for me personally, if it's meant for me to be, and I feel that energy and I feel that kinetic vibe, like that soul, like energy coming from you, I'm gonna shoot my shot and I'm gonna see what happens. It didn't work out for me the other night, but it's cool. So that's part of dating. You trial and error. You figure some things might not work at that moment, but some things might work later. So I leave y'all with that. So at the end of the day, we just got to figure it all out. Dating is not the easiest in this climate, but I still have hope in it. I know we always talk about it on social media, how bad it is, but what are we doing? Like, let's talk about the work we putting in to make it better. This right here, this conversation is one of those things. Let's talk about trying to make things better. Like, let's talk about try to get deeper with somebody and try to understand what type of person they are. That's why there's levels to this. There's why there's leagues to dating. What's your dating league? What league are you dating in? You know what I'm saying? Are you a superstar in all three? Can you be versatile? Well, let me know what y'all think, man. As always, it's your boy Brandon, man. I love y'all. Thank y'all for listening. This is another episode of the I'm Just Saying podcast. It's your boy Brandon, man. Hey, man. Peace.